What's going on, Boulder?
Deion is he's an elevator. You know, most people he's an elevator. He's going to elevate you as a person, and he's going to force you to elevate your life.
So Coach Prime's approach in the recruiting game is a lot different than everybody else. And so people are questioning if it can be effective long term. But be honest, I think that the way that Coach Prime is doing it is probably a glimpse into the future. I want to talk about his comments that he made recently on ABC and all the articles that's coming out behind it, as well as we'll lead off with one of our top stories of Coach Prime talking about why he picked Marshall Faulk. He talked about it on the Rich Eisen show, so we're going to listen to that. So let's dive into it here on the Prime Time for College Football. This video is powered by our partners at BetUS. Check them out. They're hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. So Coach Prime went on the Rich Eisen show about a week ago, and he talked to him about why he picked Marshall Faulk to come in and replace Coach Gary Flea Harrell as the new running back coach there at Colorado. And I thought it was very fascinating how he talked about it, because it totally made sense, while at the same time, he's the only dude that's got that type of clout or just that type of connection to be able to get somebody, another Hall of Famer like that, to be able to come coach with them. So, you know, we talked about it right at the end of January before I left and went on vacation, and he got hired around the 6th of February, that it was interesting that Prime has that pull. Nobody else has that. I'm going to keep it a buck. I mean, you don't really hear about anybody else out here snatching up, having 3 Hall of Famers, NFL Hall of Famers on their staff like that. And it amazes me when Prime really articulates why, that others didn't think of this. So let's hear what Prime had to say to Rich Eisen here about why he has Marshall Faulk. And then we're also going to listen to Marshall Faulk talk about his love for Prime and why he's going to take the job.
You hired Marshall Faulk as your running backs coach.
I don't like the way that sounds.
What do you mean?
Because that's my guy. I hired Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
I partnered with Marshall Faulk. That sounds better.
Oh, there you go.
Because my coaches don't work for me, they work with me. And the Bible says that rod and that staff, they comfort you. I have a tremendous staff that is tremendous comfort to me. I mean, it's unbelievable.
How long has this been in the works?
Oh, a minute. A minute. We don't kiss and tell everything.
Okay.
We always keep something. You know, we hold something back. We'll let this storm blow over, then boom, here you go.
I mean, how lucky you're.
I'm thankful.
Because
the kids are thankful.
Because I thought to myself, these kids, these running backs, are going to have to know how to play wide receiver.
Oh, my God.
They're going to have to know how to block.
The level goes where? Through the roof.
Through the roof.
Marshall is one of the smartest offensive human beings that I've been around. Yeah. Right. So what he's going to attract there, but not only that, the standard that he's going to demand, just like the standard D. Lou and Coach Sapp demands on the defensive line, it's unbelievable. Rob Livingston, the standard he demands as a defensive coordinator, and Pat Sherman, what he demands, you know, from the offense. And we have 2 former pros that's helping coach the offensive line with Gunner as well. So we have a whole staff. I'm more comfortable with pros, man. I'm more comfortable with those guys that have been to the mountaintop. I am. I really am. Yeah. And I had to find that out the hard way.
I think the thing that jumped out to me the most is I'm more comfortable with pros, man. I mean, I get it. I mean, Prime, as he said, he wants to foster an environment where his players truly feel like he's trying to get them to the next level, putting them in with professionals who can show them the way and make them quickly adapt, in which, to me, that's probably the strongest recruiting tool that he's leveraged as head coach of Colorado has been. He's bringing in NFL guys, a lot of them, and he's bringing in Hall of Famers, and he's telling the players straight up, look, we've got the guys that have been there, that played in the era of the NFL being its toughest, you know, one of those eras. And our focus here is to get you in the mindset and physically there to be able to do that same thing. And to me, it feels like it's working. I mean, we talk about the move from 111 up to 9-4. Yeah, granted, he had 2 NFL guys with Shedeur as well as, Travis Hunter being, top 5 draft picks. But you can't get that without, not one being related to one at the same time. Being able to recruit a player to Jackson State instead of going to Florida State, the number 1 player in the country, and have him following you everywhere and really teaching him how to be great on both sides of the ball. Like, you don't get that just, out there in the recruiting trails. It's not easy to find someone that has that type of work ethic that eats, sleeps, and breathes ball. It's funny because I see on social media talking about the NBA and the All-Star game, and there's this video about, I guess there's a new show on Netflix that's coming out, I think A Court of Gold, and Kevin Durant's kind of, a little misty-eyed talking about playing ball in the Olympics and stuff. And a lot of people pointed out that you don't have very many dudes that love the game like that. A lot of these young players, they don't have to show this kind of love for the game anymore. They've got, they're highly touted, and they've got opportunities for, financial stuff at a young age. And so it's a different approach that you have to take in order to recruit. We're going to talk about that. So stick around in a bit. But Marshall Faulk had this to say. Let's play what Marshall Faulk had to say about Coach Prime. But first, shout out to our partners over there at BetUS. They're going to hook you up. 150% bonus on the first deposit of $2,000. 125% bonus on your second and third deposits up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. And we talked about our guy, Caden Salter, over here. Plus 4,000 right now in the Heisman Trophy race. He may have a chance, but there's also a good chance in watching all the videos that Juju Lewis may try to fight to steal that starting spot from Caden. But right now, at plus 4,000, as a veteran, he's someone that if you want to take advantage of the numbers, you can. BetUS will hook you up with that. They also got their casino going on. You can go in there and play a lot of the electronic games if that will keep you busy. But they'll also take care of you. 10% back on your net losses twice a year to keep you in the game. So check them out. 150% bonus on the first deposit, 125% bonus on the second and third by using promo code YouTube150, BetUS, where the game begins. So this is what Marshall Faulk had to say about Prime. And I want you to listen. You heard it a little bit at the beginning. But this is very intriguing because it really leads into the conversation of Prime and his strategy around recruiting. This is what he got to say.
Deion he's an elevator. Most people he's an elevator. He's going to elevate you as a person, and he's going to force you to elevate your life. And that's what he does. He lifts people up. A lot of the times, the light may look like it's shining on him, but really he's shining a light on somebody. Pay attention to what he does.
Pay attention to what Coach Prime does. And he's pointing this out. And this is where it gets really intriguing about the recruiting side of it, because CBS had an article come out earlier today about Coach Prime, no travel approach to recruiting. And basically Coach Prime said that, here's the quote, "I don't go to nobody's school or nobody's house." He said this last month. "I'm not doing that. I'm too old to be going to somebody's school, somebody's house. All the kids that I'm recruiting, as a matter of fact, they in the portal. They're grown men with kids. They don't need me to come around their crib and try to convince them to come play for me. Nah." Now, this was stated on ABC and that approach is extremely unique because nobody else is going around here not visiting. I mean, heck, look, Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is out here doing house visits and stuff. And let me ask y'all this. Who's more famous? Do you think Deion Sanders is more famous or Bill Belichick? Just curious. I mean, we know Belichick, former head coach of the Patriots, won a lot of Super Bowls with Tom Brady, but everybody knows Prime too as well. Deion Sanders, he's a big name. So I'm curious, who do you think is more famous? Because to me, the one thing I've always thought about when it comes to Prime and his approach to the visit, not only does he spend a substantial amount of time in the transfer portal, because as he mentioned, his goal is to go after players that are grown. He wants those that are hungry. And he doesn't really go too much after a lot of the young high schoolers unless he feels like they can contribute, immediately. And he's even said that on numerous occasions. But what was intriguing about it and the approach is with NIL, with the new revenue share that's coming down the line, and with the money that's being thrown around, it kind of makes sense that Prime's not going to go out and do any visits. At the same time, he's Deion Sanders. He's not going to be able to go anywhere and sneak. You know Deion Sanders when you see Deion Sanders. I can argue that as famous as Bill Belichick is, he could kind of go places and you wouldn't know it's him. I mean, unless he has that, that young smoking girlfriend with him, then of course you got questions. But as just a coach, just an older chap out there hanging out. But he also dresses in, suits and stuff. He's way different than he was as the Patriots coach, where he was rocking the hoodie because that's what he was known as. No, he's all dressed to the nines now. So Prime can't sneak and go really visit people without other people knowing he's doing those visits because he's Deion Sanders. It's very easy to spot him. And so for him not going out to travel and go visit homes and schools, honestly, it makes sense. And hopefully in the future, it's going to allow for him to have staff members be able to do those visits and stuff for him, which I think that's what Prime wants to go towards. Makes more sense. And Marshall Faulk pointed this out in that last video that Prime, it may look like he's shining a light on himself, but he's really shining it on everybody else. It's just that he's Deion Sanders, and so he just attracts. He's magnetic. His personality, everything just draws people in. And so that's an interesting approach towards the recruiting side because, honestly, he's one of the few unique people that can actually do that. I don't even think Bill Belichick could do that. I think Bill Belichick has to go out there and put, rubber to the road because I don't know how many people really believes that he's all in that way. Not saying he's not. I'm just saying that that's probably where people want to be proven that Bill Belichick is really into this because it's kind of odd to go from the NFL as a head coach like he was and general manager and running things to running a college program. But with revenue sharing and the way things have changed, should work no problem for Belichick. It should be similar to the way he did it with the Patriots, similar to the way Prime is doing it. So I thought it was interesting that Prime said he doesn't do those visits and how unique that is. The question is, how sustainable is that going to be long term? With the way that the portal is and even with regulation coming down the line, I don't see why it wouldn't work out for him long term. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in those comments. We definitely want to hear from you all. Shout out to our partners over there at BetUS. They're going to hook you up. 150% bonus on the first deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. We'll break down some film on Caden Salter. I recorded some watching him play ball at Liberty. And yeah, I want to dive into kind of how I feel about him. So we'll do that soon. And we'll talk later.